Who do you believe, the Prime Minister or Dominic Cummings, when it comes to the claims about, in particular, that party on the 20th of May in the garden of Number 10?
Well, the Prime Minister was very clear in his account, detailed account to the House of Commons, and they, Number 10, have categorically rebutted the assertion made by Dominic Cummings overnight. And of course, to the extent that there are discrepancies and claims and assertions, that's the job of Sue Gray to investigate impartially, and I'm going to let her do her job.
So who do you believe?
And I'm not getting drawn into that, but I'm confident I'm confident, full confidence in the PM. I believe that he was, when he addressed Parliament, he gave the accurate and truthful account of what happened. But of course, what I don't want to do is get sucked into the he said, she said of claims and counterclaims being played out in the media. It is the proper job of Sue Gray to impartially conduct the investigation.
Yes, I mean, Sue Gray is the senior civil servant who's investigating it. I asked you, as the Deputy Prime Minister, who do you believe? And you said you don't want to get drawn into that. You're not willing to say, I believe the Prime Minister.
Of course I believe the Prime Minister.
Took 3 goes to get you to say that. That's a bit worrying.
At second go, I said I had full confidence in him and I believed that he was giving an accurate and truthful account.
OK, right. So you believe the Prime Minister, and that means that if photographic and video evidence, which we're told does exist, does emerge, if witnesses come forward to Sue Gray or post her investigation to confirm Dominic Cummings' version of events, that this, we've already seen the email inviting people to a bring your own booze party. We've also seen numerous sources backing up these stories about on another night, the night before the Prince Philip's funeral, 2 parties taking place, one involving people going up the road to the Co-op in Whitehall to buy a wheelie suitcase full of booze. If it does emerge that the Prime Minister has not told the truth, does he have to resign?
Well, it's precisely because we've got a string, as you just set out, of unsubstantiated claims that we've got Sue Gray investigating them. And I'm not going to speculate or get ahead with hypothetical scenarios, but we do want to get to the bottom of it. The Prime Minister has been clear in a statement to the House of Commons. Things happened that shouldn't have happened, and he's apologised for that. And I think we should let Sue Gray give us the answers that we need, and there'll be full transparency around that.
OK, let's talk about your constituents. We know that many Tory MPs say they have been inundated with angry emails from not just party members, but voters as well. Indeed, we know that opposition MPs are getting a lot of emails about this as well. Have you received many emails about this, and have they largely been supportive of the Prime Minister or critical?
I think there's a lot of frustration. I was out knocking on doors Friday and Saturday, a lot of frustration, but mainly, above all else, frustration that they want to see the government focused on them and their priorities. And of course, there'll be frustration around perceptions of double standards. That's why it's quite right to have, and the reality, if that's the case, Sue Gray investigate these things. But above all, the message I was taking is that we're focused with the most vaccinated country in Europe. We're more boosted than any large country in Europe. We've got more tests for the virus.
How's that working out for everyone?
Well, actually, I'll tell you how it's working out, Julia. We've come through the I believe and I hope the worst of the pandemic, and we've opened up the economy so that in a way that other countries have not been able to do. We've got jobs rising, so unemployment coming down, wages rising, and one of the fastest major economies for economic growth. And I think that's the stuff that your listeners and the public want to see us focused on.
Let me talk to you just finally about vaccine passports. We've got Plan B measures still in place. It's expected that they will fall on the 26th of January. This at a time when many of our European neighbours are bringing in incredibly authoritarian rules. We've seen across Austria, Germany, Italy, France have just, would say, strengthened their health pass. It's no longer a health pass. You just have to prove that you're treble jabbed, not just double jabbed, but you've had the booster as well. In France, in the next few days' time, not allowed to show proof of a negative lateral flow test. Can you guarantee to me that Britain will never go down that route?
Well, we've always said that we're sticking with Plan B. I think the next review point is the 26th of January, and I don't think there's any likelihood that we'd end up going down the kind of measures you're talking about.
Can you not guarantee we will never go down that route because it's just fundamentally democratically wrong?
Well, I agree with you on the principle of it, and which is why, in relation to COVID passes, it's always been a lateral flow test or proof of vaccination. But the crucial thing here is the Prime Minister got the fundamental judgment call right in the booster campaign, which has led to over 70% protection from symptomatic infection and 88% protection for those that have got it from hospitalization. And that's one of the reasons, not just that we're safer as a country and we're not going down some of the paths that you described in other countries, but also why the economy is now growing. We'd have still been in lockdown if we'd have listened to Keir Starmer. The economy is growing, jobs are expanding, more jobs, wages are rising, and that's the plan to get through the pandemic. I think on this, the economic as well as the balanced approach to Plan B over the Christmas weeks, the Prime Minister got the fundamental judgment call right.